had a younger woman come up to me and say, "You are who I want to be when I grow up." That's how much respecting yourself enough to give yourself that go with the glow look means to younger women. They want to know there's a way, there's a path. Hey, everybody. It's Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans, but now the proud host of Too Young to Be Old podcast, named after my second book, and Fashion Thursdays with Diane. Well, here we are with our series on before and after. Before and after what, Diane? That huge change of life, menopause. What are we doing today? We are going to go for the glow, girls, which means this is all about the difference in how you use your makeup, what you use for makeup, and what you emphasize after menopause. So let me say that for me, um, honestly, I know this is going to sound disgusting, but I used to get up every morning before menopause. And I would look in the mirror and I would just check out my skin, big dark lashes, big dark eyebrows, and I would say, pretty good. Okay. Put on a little bit of makeup. But remember, I was on TV all the time, so I was getting made up plenty and very differently with a ton of powder. Well, in our series, I explained a little bit of my personal journey with skin quality after menopause, and you get very, very, very dry. So, when it comes to makeup, the best thing you can do after menopause is what I would call the replacement theory, which is for me, my eyebrows went white, my lashes after chemotherapy really barely came back. And it is very important that you know that outlining those areas, especially the eye area, including the shape of your eyebrows, is so important for your overall look. How you shape your eyes and your eyebrows is the plane on which the slant of your cheekbones comes in. But whatever. The point is, after menopause, it's all about replacement. And the other thing that I think it's all about is the title, Go for the Glow. That used to be something, a glow, that I got from running 3 miles in the morning, 3 miles at night. And you get all that skin with blood circulation in it, and it would look so rosy and glow. And we're not going to get that anymore, although I do suggest red light therapy at home. So if you've got an event to go to, prep the skin, do your red light treatment, and you'll be able to use far less blush and far less foundation. But I cannot do that with an arthritic knee. So let me say that skin health is everything. And as we get into this, I also want to say, ladies, putting on a little makeup every day and looking a lot more like your former self is self-love and self-care. And you may say to yourself, well, I'm not going to say anybody today. How do you know? Could be the super coming up to say hi to you. Could be a friend calling and saying, hey, I'm downstairs in your lobby. Let's have a cup of coffee. But whatever it is, I know I feel better about myself when I look better, and I always look better with makeup. So first thing I would say, because today is all about making up the post-menopausal face, go for integrated regime of makeup. And why do I say that? Not because I'm particularly faithful to any one brand, although when I find a brand that works, I will go on using it until my skin maybe changes again and I have to reassess myself. But it's because skin care and makeup especially is either silicone based or oil based. And if you're doing something like oil based, but then you see a product with silicone in it and you think, oh, I like the color, it may not stay on that oil base. When you go for a brand and you buy the foundation, the blush, that's all you really need, then you're going to make sure that it has traction. So, first of all, skin quality, definitely dry. Now, I, as a postmenopausal woman, do not go out in the sun, but that's also because chemotherapy made it really radical to be out in the sun. You get burnt much earlier than you would otherwise. However, the other thing is you have thinner skin now. You have skin, and that's why you can see some of the veins in your forehead. I suggest getting a foundation that is light, has maybe a little bit of mica in it, which gives you a bit of shine, looks moisture driven, but I am not a big believer in foundations that have skincare product within it. I will do my skincare product separately with like creme de la mer. And then I'll let that sink in for about half an hour, do some chores, have a cup of coffee, and then come back. I use Charlotte Tilbury. Why? Because she is the queen of glow. This is a woman that not only understands everyday life, she also understands glamour. She understands being in front of a camera. So let's say, for instance, you're Mother of the Bride. You're in front of a camera. You're in front of a crowd of people. You want coverage, but not heavy. You want no emphasis from wrinkles, and you definitely want to go way lightweight on the powder. Now, let's talk about general areas. For the skin, I have a particular problem, and that is white hair. When I had colored hair, and I did color it for many, many years of my adulthood, I had a built-in warming mechanism for the rest of my face built in from the hair color. Now that it's white, I would look, I think, far better if I had a very dark tan skin, which I do not. So I have to build in warmth from the foundation. I do that with Charlotte Tilbury, a liquid. It is definitely on the moisture driven side, but it makes no claims to moisture, which is fine with me. And the one thing I don't use, I only use it on my cheekbones, around my jawline, and a little bit on my forehead, is powder. Now, I get a powder that is a baked in powder. It's not loose. And I do that mostly in the summertime when there's perspiration, very humid and hot in New York. And I want to cut down on that, but mostly for camera. In real life, I do not use powder. Why? It sinks into every crevice and every wrinkle and emphasizes them. And one day, a couple of months ago, I had come straight from doing a podcast to having to go to the salon and get my hair done for an event. And I looked in the mirror and I was OMG so shocked. I had used a powder to set everything for photo. I mean, there were a billion wrinkles, even Shallow wrinkles really show up with powder, and powder will suck all the moisture out of your skin and is very drying. So my directive would be use a lightweight but full coverage foundation. I will go light under the eyes, into the upper eye, and possibly emphasis for jawline around the jaw. And then the rest of it is a very natural to me color. I'm very light skinned, but I want it to be a little bit on the rosy side. Now, what do I do with postmenopausal eyelashes and eyebrows? You know, I'm going to be honest. I am going to make a very bold statement. I believe in red light therapy. That is a form of LED/laser lighting. It is being used in all the best boutique spas now in Manhattan and Beverly Hills, but it's available to all of us now through FlexBeam. I got what kind of looks like, pardon me, a bullet capsule belt, like for warfare, and it kind of is warfare against achy joints and inflammation from FlexBeam. I use it every night on my arthritic knee. I use it on my left arm, which has lymphedema from having all my cells removed, lymph nodes removed because of breast cancer. It's like magic. Actually, I'm traveling to London with it in a couple of days. I'm going to use it even on the airplane. What does red light do? Red light gives you blood circulation. It gives you warmth. It gets those achy muscles, those arthritic joints moving again. And you know what? FlexBeam is so easy to use and it's rechargeable. And yeah, I know you may say to yourself when you look at it, whoo, yikes, that's a lot of money. But FlexBeam, this particular device, is really meant for you and I. If you're anybody over 50 and you're beginning to see your joints stiffen, you're beginning to get aches and pains, doing exercise is becoming more of a strain than a reward system, you need FlexBeam. If you want to check, go to your nearest spa, the spa that may be using it, that may have forward thinking, because it's still really in the forefront of treatment. And they'll tell you how much a session is going to cost. And I'll bet you 4 sessions would equal what you're going to pay for this FlexBeam red light therapy device, which is portable, uncomplicated, rechargeable, kind of comes with a Velcro strap and an extra one so you can put it on any area of your body. I put it around my knee. I put it lower part of my knee and then lower part of my thigh. So I get the blood circulation going everywhere. Honestly, I don't want to live without it. FlexBeam is a real deal. And you're going to find that with the discount that you can get using our code in the caption, this is going to become a way of keeping yourself younger. I almost call it reverse aging. I can move around again. My knee was arthritic. I'm telling you, red light therapy is truly modern aging. Try it and let me know. And keep in mind, the price is so worth it because this device is going to keep going for the next 5-10 years. This is not something that you use for a couple of months and then it kind of fades away. This is my absolute comfort go-to. FlexBeam is a real deal. I have tried every eyelash serum out there, and none of them really grow back my lashes. And that's something that I think comes from chemotherapy. My eyebrows were never the best shape to begin with, but when they turned white to match my hair and my eyelashes turned white, which is an eventuality, I can tell you that your face, the impact you create, the shape of your face, the mood, every message you want to give with your appearance starts with the eyes and honestly the eyebrows. So I learned to use very soft, dark kohl pencils that I could smudge with. I like using my fingers. I don't like using utensils like brushes, and that's all fancy stuff to me. But I would call what I do with my eyes and eyebrows correction definition. I use Bobbi Brown soft cream eyeshadow, but it comes in a pencil form. And I use Sicily, again, pencil form, kohl pencil, which is pure black. I can only find the Bobbi Brown now in a dark brown. I also bought that soft cream shadow from Bobbi Brown, which I got on Amazon, in a light flesh tone highlighting shade. And I go under my eyebrows. So I have to recreate, as many of us do postmenopausal, a defined eye. Now, the one thing I have in my favor is I have a makeup artist who does false eyelashes. I need them. That sets the whole tone for me. And when they do those lashes, they tilt them up and out. So now my cheekbones are at the same ratio of tilt, and that is great. Everything to me is honestly about recreation. I'm not looking to look 20 again, but definitely when I look at myself in the mirror and I see no eyes, no eyebrows, nothing here, and it all just recedes, that is not the most promising vision every day. So I'm going to say to you, self-love, self-care, put on a little bit of makeup every day. Maybe your brows. I love Hourglass. That's a brand for brows. And I like to use either a pale, warm blonde, or I'll do Prime Prometics, which is the only brand I can find that actually does gray. And for real life, if I'm doing photo shoot, if I'm doing a podcast or Instagram live, I'll probably use that blonde from Hourglass. It gives a little more punch to a camera. But if I'm in real life, I love the Prime Prometics Silver Queen, I believe it's called, eyebrow pencil. And you know what? It's amazing to me. There are over 50% of us in this country as females that have gone through menopause, and there's no special makeup for us. So I want you to use a moisturizing makeup, not necessarily something that has skincare in it, but if that's your goal is to marry the two of them together, believe me, they're out there. With even look for glycolic acid because that is really restorative. And then I don't do any shading or anything with even a darker foundation, just light around the eyes, flesh tone around. And then I just want to revert and say one thing I do, and I'm beginning to use my red light wand and going all around my hairline once a day to try and get more density of growth in here because menopause takes away our hair health. But I also use a powder. I was able to find a white powder, and I think that's from Charlotte Tilbury too. And it's pure white, and I crunch it up and dab it in with my fingers all around to look like there's a lot more hair growth. But it also creates a really good contrast between your hairline and your face. I will tell you, every time I put makeup on, I think to myself, whoa, what a difference this makes. And then I think to myself, why aren't there more products out there specifically and only for us? Don't ask me. No one ever seems to want to recognize us or believe in us. Now, I also want to say, if I have a choice, which I do, and all of us do, between liquid eyeliner and or a soft coal pencil, I will tell you, post-menopause, go for softness. I think that a liquid eyeliner, and now some of them are out with almost a patent leather finish on them. Whoa, cat eyes, whoa. Um, those days are gone. That ship has sailed. That is a very harsh look. But I'm going to be full disclosure. The other problem is if I screw it up as I'm putting it on, which I am apt to do, I have to get a makeup remover and take it all off, because one of the big claims of liquid liner is it's built to last hours and hours and hours. I don't like that definitive look, especially because as we go post-menopausal, one eye, my right eye, has always been bigger than my left eye, but now the left eye is getting to be a really lazy eye with a little bit of the lid disappearing. And I just think putting on a super harsh definitive eyeliner is not a great thing. The danger zones definitely get summed up with where the wrinkles go. So the wrinkles go under your eyes, the laugh lines, and to me, across the top of your mouth, all those creases. That definitely takes moisturization. So definitely read the verbiage and what is in your foundation. And look for a foundation like Charlotte Tilbury or Bobbi Brown, which I think is now called Jones Road, that focuses on you, that wants to deal with the after 50 woman, which is the equivalent of saying menopause. Now, you may think that I have some advantage because I was on TV for 30 years, but actually not. It's actually a big disadvantage because it is so different to put on makeup for really hot, harsh studio lights. And I had a makeup artist that was just in love with powder. So I always had to ask the camera, don't do close-ups, camera guy, because you could see every wrinkle. It really aged me. But I was doing TV out of Florida, and it was so hot and so humid that you literally had a pound of makeup on your face. I had to relearn to do makeup after my hair went white and I lost all emphasis for eyes, natural emphasis, and brows. And then I really did not totally agree with what my makeup artist did for TV. And I started to work on shaping my eyes to be as big as they could be and shaping my brows to go up and then swoop down. And the truth is, I practice at it every day. And you know what, ladies? Love yourself a little. Do that too. Even if you're just going to the supermarket. I know out there in the suburbs, it's not glamour driven like the way it is in a big city, but you can learn to do super subtle makeup that really makes all the other housewives say, I wonder what she's doing. She looks really good. That's all you need. Just a little boost for the mood and a little pick me up. Now, in the winter time, I will definitely go for a darker foundation. Where in the summertime I catch a little sun just naturally and I can go maybe a shade lighter. But I'm telling you, if you see yourself thinning around the hairline, here's my insider advice. Use a strong brush or use your fingers, but easier, honestly, with powder. Find a hair powder that matches however you've colored your hair or whatever it is now naturally, and strengthen the idea of your hair is almost like a picture frame and you're the picture. So why not make it a strong, beautiful picture frame? Once you have the eyes and the eyebrows, you've kind of set up the rest of the face. Now, there's two ways to go for color. I like blush. I'm way too pale not to use it. And definitely I noticed post-menopause that glow and that natural skin tone went away as I was no longer able, because of a little bit of arthritis, to exercise the way I once did and really work up a sweat. I like a powder blush. Why? I think it's easier to control. But on really cold days, like I was out yesterday in New York, was like, I might as well have been in Antarctica. I used almost a balm kind of blush. It is definitely oily. It is definitely in a moist form. And I like two different kinds. These are Charlotte Tilbury as well. And I got them in London. I'm not even sure they're selling it in America. But honestly, Jones Road by Bobbi Brown has a balm out that is sort of the same thing. I just swoop my fingers over it and angle down and in and create a little bit of drama with cheekbones. Here is my entire point. I'm not looking to recreate 30 again. I am looking to redefine my 70s. I'm looking for New York City, a little bit of glamour. I'm looking for a surprisingly natural look. And now we're going to talk about the one thing that can either make it natural or make it into something that must be seen, but is a really strong statement. Lipstick. I have a lot of problems discussing this because everybody but me seems to have a different point of view, which is, oh, Diane, I love you in red lipstick. I hate me in red lipstick. So one thing I do want to say, if there are people out there that are critical of your look, go with your own instinct. I went back and looked at a bunch of pictures of me with red lipstick when I'm a very serious person in real life, and I love to laugh and I love to smile and I love to joke. But when I'm just kind of still and reflecting, that red lipstick draws my whole face down to that portion. And I seem to have a natural little bit of an upside down smile frown. And I think it is very aging. If I'm wearing an all wine colored outfit, I will go for a pink tone, but not dark. And I'll go for a gloss. I love natural colors. And my New York makeup artist agrees with me. Natural tones are far less aging. So, what is the goal here? Well, for the foundation, I use Charlotte Tilbury. Airbrush Flawless Hollywood Filter. Whoa, that's a mouthful, but it does just that. It makes you look flawless and it makes you look filtered because I believe it has mica in it, which reflects rather than absorbs light. I use a pressed powder, but never under my eyes or around the laugh lines or the top of my lip, which is where, and I'm going to admit it, I smoked for years. Gave it up 25 years ago, but enough that I've got those little creases. And I don't want any drying mechanism there at all. I always exfoliate first to get the smoothest surface. And I will also use a pink marble device, just handheld. This one I have is in the shape of a heart. I put it in the refrigerator and then I go up and up and up and up. And oh, by the way, if it's a really special photo shoot or event, I suggest using a tightening mask before you put your makeup on. And I always put a moisturizer underneath. I had at a pretty late age, about 74, I had to teach myself how to do makeup. Honestly, I had huge dark lashes. I had huge bushy eyebrows. And what really took it all away was menopause. And what really puts it back are manufactured elements that you will find out there. And by the way, there's one other thing I use. And I don't know why, because I'm not sure I really need to, but it gives me more confidence. I use a lip plumper. Now, I hate the way it feels. I hate that tingly kind of thing, but I ain't getting filler in my lips for sure. Not doing that. I will tell you that I think that when you go to put on your makeup, post-menopause, the real issue is how you start with your skin quality first. So last week we talked about maintenance of all of that. I think the other thing is kind of color coordinate your makeup to what you think you're wearing for the day. So if I'm wearing, I didn't think, after letting my hair go natural and white, and of course then there's my eyebrows and eyelashes, which are barely there. I didn't think that I would be able to wear browns or mochas, but actually they're good. So if I'm wearing a beige or an ivory or any shade of creamy brown or creamy rust, I will go for an apricot shade. If I'm wearing black, and that just creates the need for a punch of color. If I'm going for a drama tone like purple or Barbie pink, which I'm still obsessed with, I will go for a Barbie pink kind of blush. Do you not think that you are being too proud or too vain? Or maybe you're thinking, oh, at my age or after going through menopause, there's no need for makeup. Yeah, there is. Yeah, we have to learn to love ourselves. And one of the things that is really important for that self love is a little self care. I do not see putting on makeup after menopause as trying to look false or trying to look fancy or trying to fool everybody. I do want to say one thing though, and I say it to myself a lot: watch out. Otherwise, if you put on too much, it can look a little like a caricature of yourself. So sometimes what I will do is I'll try and get my makeup done at least 30 minutes early, come back and revisit it before I'm about to go out, and maybe find that I put on too much around my eyes. And just because I'm using a kohl like pencil, I can just sort of wipe a bit of it away. But it's going to take some practice. It's going to take some experimentation. And it's going to take a certain amount of faith in yourself that you can do it. It took me a while to learn how to do it. And I'll be honest with you, I never learned how to put on false eyelashes. I have tried everything. And they are, for me, the key to my whole beauty glamour regime. I like them. I like false eyelash. I like it when they put them on as individuals. Now, There is another way you can go with the lashes, which is get extensions. Oh, they're so excellent looking. It doesn't work for me because I put on my makeup and take it off sometimes 2 and 3 times a day. Pardon me, I have a little bit of a cold. I tend to find lashes that are put on once a week better, but with the extensions, and you need to get them from a salon or a spa, they can last a month or more, and they're gorgeous. And then you don't even need to really worry about mascara. I also finish off my routine with a clear setting spray. It's like a mist, and it appears that it highlights and emphasizes all the topical colors you've put on, but it also extends their wear. This is especially important to me if you are going for a big event like a christening, a bar mitzvah, a wedding, an anniversary party. And nothing feels better when you go away on vacation than having that little bit of makeup on. Now, I do not, for me, recommend anything that has to do with an SPF in makeup. It tends to irritate my skin. I also feel like the makeup just doesn't go on correctly. So where everybody says use SPF on your face all the time, if I'm using makeup, whether the SPF is separate or it's in the product, it just doesn't work for me. And that's one thing you need to do. Figure out what works for you. Now, Charlotte Tilbury, Bobby Brown Jones Road, Hourglass, Sicily. These are not cheap makeups. They're just what works for me. And you can find plenty of equivalents out there. But remember, look for makeup that respects you and focuses on you as a postmenopausal woman. And that will be somewhere in their blurb. You know what? There is nothing wrong with looking your best every day. And here's the other terrible full disclosure I'm going to tell you. People think it takes me it used to take a good 2 hours to put on makeup for television. When I do it myself, I would say tops 15 minutes. That's on a bad day or I made a mistake somewhere. I want it to look good. I want it to do its job. I want my eyes to, boom, eyes are the window to the soul, really grab you. I want my eyebrows to be better than they ever were in real life. And I just draw over whatever white hairs are left. It is a totally different look than I had when I was younger, before menopause. Before menopause, much more natural, super light foundation during the day, little bit of blush on because I'm so pale. But now it's more about adaptation and correction. And I want you to see that there is nothing wrong with this. I talk to women all the time and they beat themselves up and it's like, oh, I'm too old to wear makeup. I'm too wrinkled to wear makeup. What do I need makeup for? Men aren't interested in me anymore. Are you interested in yourself? I don't do makeup for every day beyond one point. I want to feel better about myself. And so will you. And here's my other thing. Lighten up, ladies. Have fun doing it. I love discovering new products. I love trying new techniques. I love discovering more about myself. And I will consistently get rewarded for that. I even have women walk up to me on the streets of New York. I'm like, whoa, and say, oh my God, you are like the essence of glamour. Or you're, I had a younger woman come up to me and say, you are who I want to be when I grow up. That's how much respecting yourself enough to give yourself that go with the glow look means to younger women. They want to know there's a way, there's a path to self respect and continuing to be the core, the essence of you. I hate to say it because it sounds so shallow, but makeup is 99% of the battle won. Here's to you, ladies, before and after menopause. Go with the glow. Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.